Hello everyone, so today we will be building a space station that's made entirely, well, almost entirely, using the new EVA construction features from the update, from the KSP update 1.11. So right now I am building the capsule that the astronauts will sit in, and so I know I just said that it will be almost entirely made out of the EVA construction. So what I'll do first is I'll actually build a rocket that will take the Kerbals into space, and then once we're in space, we will build it. We'll build a space station. So I decided on using nuclear engines for this rocket for the upper or final stage of this rocket. I never used them. I engineered too much delta V into the upper stage or the second stage of the rocket. So now I am going to start adding in some items into the cargo stuff. So what I do at first is I'm just like going through every single fuel tank to try and see which fuel tank will actually work inside of the cargo. And I settled on the Oscar B fuel tank, like the mini gray fuel tank, and I chose that one because it can use the Twitch engine and it doesn't take up too much space inside of the cargo thing. And so I also use the Twitch engines. I use them because they work. They're like the perfect size for the Oscar B fuel tanks. And now I'm just adding in some like extra science and communication stuff. The space station, once I finish it, does not look too good. So this video probably will get no views at all. But it has all of the functionality that a space station needs to be a space station. There's docking ports, well, a singular docking port, probe cores for remote control of the vehicle or the space station, and we have fuel and engines to move the space station around. We also have SAS as well to control the space station, and we have some solar panels as well. So now I'm just adding in the fairing to engulf, I guess is the word, the final stage of this craft. And I decided to use the Rhino engine for the upper stage of the rocket just because it's so efficient. And yeah, because it's so efficient. I am using the 3.5 meter parts because the Rhino engine is 3.5 meters. And so this is a 3-core rocket. It didn't need to be a 3-core rocket, but I wanted to make a 3-core rocket, I guess. And so now I'm just adding in the engines to the two outer cores. It's kind of like a Falcon Heavy style rocket, but there's a fuel crossfeed. So, but I know that was planned for the Falcon Heavy, but they aren't doing that because it was too complex. So I think that would be the only difference. Or one of the only differences. And now I'm going to add in the nose cone. And so in a few seconds you'll see me adding in some parachutes. That's because I want the two outer side cores to be recovered. I haven't checked the tracking station yet, but I don't think they were recovered. I think they just crashed into the ground or the ocean. Yeah, so these parachutes don't look too good aesthetically, but they function well, I guess. Okay, so now we'll hopefully crossfade over to the launch. I'm actually adding in some lights on the cores and on some of the cores. So two of the lights are lights that are green, and then 4 lights are red lights. So my thought was once the side cores are jettisoned, we could have the side cores glow red, saying that they aren't attached to the main core, and then we could have the main core, the inner core, have the green light saying that it doesn't have side cores on it anymore. And now we're launching. I tried to aim for the 10,000, the 45-degree marker once we hit 10,000 kilometers. This helps you and me be more efficient while flying the rocket. And now we have a side booster jettison. And now we'll just continue slowly flattening ourselves out until we get to our desirable, I can't pronounce that word, apoapsis. At that point we will cut off our main engine, and then we'll coast to apoapsis, and we will circularize. And now we're at main engine cut off, and now we will raise the apoapsis even more. I could have used the first stage of the rocket since it still had the delta V, but I didn't want to because when I was looking at the delta V readouts in flight, it looked like I was going to have too much delta V, like 3,000 meters per second extra. So I decided just to jettison the first stage. And so now here we are at our maneuver node that will circularize us around Kerbin. And now we're executing that maneuver node. It was around the burn was around 240 meters per second. And now we'll get Bill out of the capsule, and then we'll have him start building the space station. Like I said earlier, the space station doesn't look that good, but it does have the functionality. And right now on the screen there is some text saying that you can skip to 17 minutes and 10 seconds for the finished space station. Because this part of the video is very long and it's very repetitive, so some people may not want to watch that. Sorry if you heard any background noise just now. Yeah. So right now I'm just adding in some fuel tanks to this like this 2.5 meter fuel tank, And I'm doing that because so the the with the EVA construction mode, it needs something to latch onto. You can't just like build in midair, or as far as I know, you can't build in midair. So I just used a 2.5 meter fuel tank that's empty. It doesn't have any fuel in it. Just to serve as a kind of starting point for the space station. So you can see already that the space station does not look too good, and I'll try to fix that in maybe future EVA space stations that I make. Again, sorry if there was any background noise there, because and I think the problem with this space station is these like fuel tanks are just like super tiny. They're only like 0.6 meters, and so I hope there are other fuel tanks that I can use, that I can get, that are wider in diameter than these. I think I could use the fuel tanks that are mainly used on the jet planes. Forgot what they're called, but I think you can add them into the cargo. So now I'm doing like a four-way cross thing. You'll understand what I mean by that in a few seconds. I just don't know how to explain it perfectly. Like I'm trying to think of ways to explain it right now. So like one side would be like an extension of this. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Um so um so like this four-way cross section is a little bit wonky. It does take a little bit of time to get used to using the EVA construction mode. And now I'll add in the fuel tank on the bottom. And then so on each like section, I guess, of the four-way thing, there'll be a different thing. So one side will be like maybe a science equipment thing, another side will be the docking, uh, and then another will be the probe core. Okay, so now I'm just adding in the twitch engines. They'll help us pull away from the rest of the capsule, and they'll also help us do some maneuvers if we want to raise our orbital height at all, which we probably won't. So now you can see me adding in the probe core. I did just stop talking there because there isn't too much to talk about here. And now I'm going to start adding in the science experiments and the batteries. And so this space station probably has enough resources to gather data and science and everything for a few years. So yeah. And now I'm adding in some lights, just to make it easier to dock to this space station, I guess. I mean, Jeb is perfect, and he can see, when even when it's pitch black, but this will make his life easier. And so this is just me adding in lights. It isn't like anything too notable. So if you do want to skip to 710, you can. But this is pretty much the finalized space station. And now we will, hopefully soon, once all of these lights are turned on, detach from the rest of the capsule, and then we'll raise our orbital height by around like 1 kilometer, just so that we can have a more perfect orbit. I realize that that isn't proper English, but it makes enough sense. And now here we are detaching. The whole entire building clip of the space station was played in real time, and the rest of this video will be sped up a little bit extra, just to make it more bearable, I guess. Because my videos normally aren't this long. They're normally only like 15 minutes maximum. And now we've just done our maneuver node that will raise our orbit. And now we're just going to burn retrograde with the Rhino engine, and we will deorbit the vehicle. And yeah, the heat shield did get detached. Luckily, we have like 3 layers of items shielding the capsule. So hopefully we'll be fine. I don't know. We hopefully will be fine. And now we're seeing some reentry heating and some explosions, which it might be bad. I'm now rotating the capsule in every single direction just to um what's it called? To distribute the heating. And then I turn on the temperature gauges. I did decide to make the parachutes deploy a lot earlier than required. And so right now I did speed up the footage by a lot, and we're also at 4 times physical time warp. So sorry if the footage is a little bit choppy. For me, it just randomly jumped from the parachutes not being deployed to the parachutes being deployed. So sorry about that. Now we'll just coast down towards the ocean, where there is a random black circle. I don't know why that happened or how that happened, but I think there was also a black circle during launch. So it may be a glitch with Scatterer, or like me not downloading Scatterer properly. It's more likely me not downloading Scatterer properly. So now we'll just continue to coast down towards the ocean. And I will slow down the footage to real-time speed once we get really close to the ocean. And here we are, getting ready to splash down. You may have seen that the altitude marker went up by 100 meters, and that is because DaVinci Resolve, I think that's how it pronounces. I have the public beta. I've DaVinci Resolve 17 public beta. It, for some reason, whenever you speed up the footage, it randomly so like if you have like one full clip of like a video, and then like you cut the video into like pieces, and then you take out some pieces of that video, and then you slow down and speed up some parts of the footage, like so the whole entire footage isn't at like the same speed. It sometimes gives me like footage that wasn't there before. I hope that made sense. It probably didn't. And that's the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and bye.